My name is Petros Korbakis. I'm a regional sales manager for Publications for the past 7 years. Actually, I belong to Educational Group of companies. It's a group that was founded in 1974, started with language schools, and nowadays it was founded in Athens, Greece, and now it is an international company with many offices around the world and many partners, distributors around the globe. During these past 7 years that I work for Educational Group, I work really close, the past 5 of them, especially with projects connected to technology. You know, it was a very interesting subject of discussion, the blended learning, and this is what I'm about to speak today. Although during this pandemic, we crossed this level, the blended learning, and we went straight to the digital learning. Although that we call this situation more like an emergency teaching, distance teaching, because we believe that nothing can substitute the classroom, the teacher, and the book. But technology is here to help us. And this is why today I'm going to give you a short presentation of our digital solutions that anyone can find online, or there are some other digital solutions that accompany our textbooks. And finally, last but not least, I'm going to give a presentation about ELT Skills, a fully online platform that is supposed to be used as supplementary material for extra practice in English. More or less, this is what I had in mind. I'm 34 years old. I'm a graduate of AUB, Athens University of Economics and Business. And I used to travel all around the world giving presentations and helping with our experts during the training sessions and participating in various events.
All right, great. Thank you very much. All right.
You're welcome.
Now,
so, shall I start?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Let me see also the chat box. Yes. Okay. So feel free to write in the chat box. This is actually a presentation in order to help you understand how you can use our materials. So your feedback is more than valuable. Because I understand that the teachers must be a bit tired with all these different kind of platforms and all these different kind of materials. But let's start from our website. So if you visit our website, mmpublications.com, for example, /teacher, here you can find all the available materials for teachers. And before starting referring to the teacher's materials, up here you can see that these glowing tabs, digital readers, video courses, and games. During the pandemic, we have been offering for free and open access the digital readers, video courses with worksheets, and online video games. We didn't want to give a workload to the students, but we wanted to keep them occupied during this challenging summer. What else can somebody find here? We can find resources both for pre-primary and primary and secondary and adult resources. So here at Series Teacher Resources, what somebody can find if you have bought an Publications textbook, or if you're a teacher and your students are using the Publication textbooks, you can have access to, you can click here to various series. For example, Portal. So here, if you will receive an access code, you can complete a typical login sign up procedure, and then you will have access to the whole series and more specifically to all the audio materials and the teacher resource materials that have, you know, the tests, hints, and projects and other type of materials. Also, for this school year, we are ready from September for every user of MM Publication Titles. They will receive a username and a password that will give them access to an online version of our textbook. For example, Portal to English 1, you can have access to our textbook in a digital format for the ones that need it. For example, what we suggest and what we see around the world is that when the student watches his or her teacher through the shared screen, it's a bit difficult to have a second screen in order to have the digital version of the book. But for the ones that can have two screens or a split screen, it could be useful. What we suggest is the student to have the actual textbook or the actual workbook, and the teacher should share the screen of a digital student's book or from, let's say, interactive whiteboard. For this reason, I'm going to show you a video about how to use our interactive whiteboard material. So once you have our interactive whiteboard material through a DVD disc or through a download link through our partner Onara, you will have access to this digital material that could be easily opened and shared directly to your students. Because if any of your students had this material, they would have their replies to the questions and exercises too. But if you double click here, the mmload.exe, then the software will open and you will share it as I'm sharing to you right now. And then you will have access to a digital version of the student's book, the workbook, with grammar references, with videos, with audio materials, etc., etc. I'm sure that you're really familiar with interactive whiteboard materials. So more or less, this is what you can find for free to our website. This is what the users of our titles can find. Also, I suggest to continue searching here on our website for more materials.
Petros, I'm sorry.
Yes.
There is a question in the chat box. Can teachers download and use the digital version offline?
No, but the teachers that their students are using our titles can have a download link with the interactive whiteboard offline too, online and offline. The flipbook is supposed to be used online. For offline purposes, we have the book. This is how we are thinking of this thing should function. So you can have the interactive whiteboard in your computer as a teacher. You can have the book and you can have access to the title online. This is our approach to these digital materials. Of course, you can download, as you can see here, the audio materials and the teacher resource CD-CD-ROM materials. You can download them and use them offline too.
Thank you.
So if you continue browsing our website, you will find more materials downloadable that are not actually connected to our series, but they could be used in any kind of lessons. For example, if you click here, pre-primary, you will find songs, print and color activities. This is for pre-primary, as you can understand. And more or less, this is what we are offering during this challenging period of time. So without further ado, I believe I could continue by presenting you our ELT skill solutions. Is it okay, Natalia?
Yes,
Shall I
please.
start?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, please.
Okay, no problem. So, as I told you, our educational group was founded in 1974. During mid-80s, the founders of our group of companies founded Banner Logic. Banner Logic is the technology company of our group, which specializes in e-learning solutions and informatics. So, we're going to speak about blended learning. I'm sure that you are familiar with this term. It combines the face-to-face teaching, that we believe that is really important, and e-learning using technology in education. Sorry. Okay. So why is computer-based learning motivating? Although that our yesterday's webinar from my colleague Greg here in this ONARA's event was about how to keep them engaged during these digital sessions, especially the teenagers. We can admit that most of the times when our students are enabled to the learning procedure through technology, it could be more engaging, more captivating. We can have a more interactivity. And of course, as we have already said, we can give more exercises from homework and having at the same time this monitoring procedure that I'm going to explain a bit later. So what we are offering, it is a complete solution. We don't want to add more work for the teacher. We want to give them a ready-made solution with all the content ready. And in order for the teacher to assign the homework and the work, if they are using this software in a lab or from home, and then from distance, again, the teacher will monitor and grade this whole procedure. So these are just some slides about our history and our group of companies. And I have to say also that this solution is tested and valued around the world. Actually, this software was one of the first around the world. And starting in the beginning of 90s, and gradually became by using a diskette, then by using a CD-ROM and some extra cards for every students. And then nowadays, it's everything completely online. And also there are two versions of ELT skills. We have one with a workbook, but now during the pandemic, we saw that it's more flexible to have a complete solution, online solution, and without anything printed. Because this is not actually the main textbook of students. It is something supplementary for extra practice. And it works, although that we prefer for you to use using publication titles, it works with any publishing house. So through all this feedback, we understood that blended learning actually works in supporting, reinforcing, and consolidating knowledge to our students. And our motto is practice your English anywhere and anytime. This is true, and you can have access to our software from any device that has a browser. A laptop, a smart TV, or a tablet, a mobile phone, or even a smartwatch. And also it includes an offline application too. It's quite a big application, but it works offline and it's really good in order to practice your speaking skills. I'm going to speak about this a bit later. So it is designed for both for schools and universities. And we say that a student's improvement is measured through actual results. It's full graded. This is a typical problem with software that uses the same vocabulary from the first grade to the last one. So we're trying to follow the CEFR, the Common European Framework, in order to have a specific age group and level for every level of software. So it could be used in order to prepare for international exams. And it covers all skills. It's a bit difficult to work on your own and, for example, work on the writing skills or the speaking skills, but we have tried through combining different types of exercises and reference tabs to cover everything. So there is a core program and a reader section. So this is how the interface looks like, and I'm going to show you a video in order. This is our application. So you just download it, and then, for example, as you can see here, you can listen to a native speaker. Then you can guess the reply. You can record yourself, then listen to the correct reply and the official accent, let's say. And again, you can work on your own on a different kind of exercises and a different kind of texts and contents in order the student to improve his or her accent. Of course, there is a vocabulary reference and a grammar reference in order for the student to understand how the language functions. Of course, it is not a self-study method. It is something, an extra tool to this supplementary material. It is targeted for students that want to improve their skills, prepare for exams, and be even more enabled. And especially for the students that live in a hostile language environment. This was about, I don't know if you have seen before this crossroad with all these Chinese letters and words. This was all about. If you live, for example, in Greece or in Moscow or in Beijing, your environment, everyone speaks your own language. So it is not easy to practice your English all the time. So this is why we need this kind of software. So just for you to have a better understanding of this, how this platform functions, you can see this video, how easy to sign in. We can even add a logo of your school in order to make this more familiar, feel more familiar for your students. Or if you want to show that your school is using something different than the other schools. And it was as simple as that to enter to our software. Then, as you can see, our software is divided in 3 sections: the practice sections with a core content, the library sections that contains the digital readers, and the reference section that contains vocabulary and a grammar reference. So as you can see, we have the units, we have the activities. So what is the logic behind this software? So we have a lot of units, and each unit contains 2 lessons. So if you click to one lesson, let's say, you will start with an introductory. This is, as you can understand, for a primary level. And you have an introductory, let's say, first opening image, where you can have, let's say, as the teachers usually do in the classroom, you know, in every textbook, the first page is be used in order to enable a student and get acquainted with this new unit and the content of it. So then you continue with the first video, where through this animation, the student watches a story, okay? Then the student watches the story again with subtitles. Sorry. Then the student reads the story like a comic book as a text, and also can listen. This is what I told you. And then can read the story as a comic book and also listen to the story. So through this procedure, the student practices both the listening skills, the reading skills, and different combinations. Then the student solves exercises. This is a grammar reference. Vocabulary reference, the grammar reference. And then they have, based on this exercise, based on this video, excuse me, they are supposed to solve the exercises. So once they are sure about what is the correct answer, just to mention that it is not click and drop, it is type of exercises are called tab and drop, because you just press one time and then you put in the right place. This is in order to be better used through mobiles and tablets. So as you saw here, these are the results of the student so far. Two correct answers, 4 mistakes. And you can have you can send an unlock request in order to have a second chance, but this is supposed to be unlocked by the teacher. You can see also the correct answers, and then you can proceed to the next exercise. So there are different kinds of exercises. But I'm sure that you are familiar with these formats, and our students too. So this is how a reader looks like. It is included in the library section. It is a normal reader that has been developed, or an original story or an adapted one from a classic story, that it is adapted and converted to a digital format. So it is actually like an audiobook, we could say. The student can read and listen to the story. And then after, let's say, reading as many times as the student wants the story, they can proceed to the exercises. That is up to the teacher if they want to assign extra exercises apart from the classroom, apart from the core, and apart from the reader. It depends on the teacher's approach, how to use this platform, what activities should assign, and control the workload and the homework of the student. So again, you see that the student has 2 times, they can check their results. The software informs them that they have mistakes. They have another chance to give the correct answer. Then they have the final marks, and then it's up to the teacher if they want, if the teacher wants to unlock one more time the specific exercise. What is interesting to see for me is the monitoring procedure from the scope of teacher. So this is again another reader. Yes, Aladdin. Yes, we have different kind of readers for different levels. This is a video about the reference section. As I told you, we have both a vocabulary section and a grammar section. The glossary, the grammar, the regular verbs, and from here the student can download their offline application, as you can see. Just a quick look here. You see it is all grammar that is included per lesson. So it is, we try to give a visual example of every grammar phenomena and an audio too, in order to be less boring. You know, this always, these grammar sections are always, and grammar could be a bit tiring, but it is really important. I know that there are different approaches to teaching from grammar perspective or through communicative approach, but we want to cover all teaching styles. Again, there is a list with irregular verbs, and of course, a guide about how to download this offline application and how to use them. Let's move on with the benefits that the student gets by using our software. We say that it develops their autonomous learning. This means that the student works at their own pace, they gain greater self-confidence, and they, as we say, they practice on their own time. And then for the students that are a bit hesitant to participate in classroom, we believe that the use of technology can help in order to be more active. Yes, this is our goal, communication. What now the teacher gets? There is no involvement, there is more time for effective teaching, and we can see better results. And why? We claim that you can have better results by using our software. As you can see here from this detailed report that the student gets, this is for one student, let's call him John Smith. You can see very specific reports about every exercise and every type of exercises. So we can have a very good student that inside the classroom, we have seen that there are some problems, that the student has some issues with some specific type of activities. Here you can see very specifically in which section the students has problem. Maybe it could be the reading, the listening, comprehension, or maybe it's vocabulary and grammar. So then the teacher has more, let's say, facts and data in order to help each student work on their own pace and on their own and confront their own issues with the English language. So, and be more productive and successful, as you can see here. So through this management platform, the teacher can monitor the student's work, can view performance per student, class and level, can assign work, unlock exercises, and communicate and send messages to them. This is the communication through the platform is supposed to be from the teacher to the student, not from the student to the teacher. This is all about to protect the teacher. This is how you can send a message. This is how to assign work. And we believe that we couldn't know that the pandemic would come, but we believe and we continue to believe that this solution works from distance, and the teacher can support the students in improving their language skills, even if they are not in the same classroom. Of course, we don't claim to substitute the actual teaching and the class procedure, let's say the lesson, but we believe that it can help the teachers, the students, the schools, the institutions that want to do something extra, to do the extra mile in order to improve the English skills of their students. So that was all about. I believe I don't want to tire you with this software. I know that it is always more interesting to, to have a discussion, but let me stop sharing. Okay, so Natalia.
Thank you very much.
It was something on my presentation like what you expected. What do you want to discuss about something more specific?
While teachers are typing their questions in the chat box, so I would like to clarify a couple of things, all right?
Yes.
So one of my questions is, what is the age group and what are the levels? So the teachers may use this ELT platform for.
Okay. 1 minute, I can show you directly. First of all, I would like to show our syllabus for every level. There are 2 levels, the primary, as we call it, and the secondary. Here you can see we have in total 12 levels. And let me share again my screen in order to show you. Okay, I think now you can see the syllabus for every level. So there are 12 levels. This is, for example, for level 1, the lesson, and the structures. So for an experienced teacher, they can understand which level is working more efficiently with their classroom. For our titles, MO Publications titles, we can even prepare some correlations. Correlation with ELT skills level and tower titles. But because both ELT skills and tower titles and from other publishers titles, they're using the CEFR, it is easier to use this software together with your normal textbook.
Okay, so and we can use this ELT platform with any course book, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, this is great. Okay, and what is the highest level? Please remind me, is it B1 or B2?
It is, yes, it reaches B2, let's say, it reaches B2. Then it is up to the teacher, although I'm not a teacher, but I work really closely and I have 2 degrees of English myself. Okay, but to certificates, but from the discussions that I have with our experts, it is that for these upper levels, the plus, C1 plus, it is up to the teacher to choose what materials will help a student to be prepared for the exams. because you can prepare for IELTS, you can prepare for TOEFL, you can prepare for a proficiency level. So then it's up to the teacher to help the student with specific materials should they use. But till B2 level, we can cover it.
All right. Okay, that's great. And one more question. Of course, before any teacher makes a decision, so to buy or to use this or that course, or include this course into their schedule, into their curriculum, they would like to try.
Of course.
Right?
Of course. Just to say that during the pandemic, we were offering a lighter version of ELT skills for free for ministries, for institutions, in order to help them during this pandemic. Of course, we can supply the coordinators, the teachers. We can even pilot for 1 month, let's say, or an agreed period of time, let's say, and supply through you, through an hour, demo codes for everyone to test, to check if this meets their expectations. Maybe they're more interested in the primary level or the secondary level. Maybe they prefer, because the primary level has animations and the secondary level has real video. So it is, we cannot know what the preferences of every institution are. So the best way, as you said, is to try. We are really confident for our solution. You can check our syllabus. We have very detailed guides also. I should refer to this because I know that sometimes technology and using so many platforms on our days could be a bit confusing and time consuming. We have very specific guides, step by step, how the students should register, what the teacher should do, what the supervisor, how to have report cards, how to unlock requests, etc. So I believe anyone can be covered. And of course, we are at your disposal, both Onara and our team, to support if there is any technical problem or content question, related question, or anything.
Okay, thank you. This is great. For those of you who would like to try, so you may contact Onara, and I give you all our contacts. So I think the easiest way is just to email us, like arano.onara.ru. So this is the easiest way to get whatever you want. Okay, so yes. All right, so I would strongly recommend to visit mmpublications.com website, where you can find a lot of very, very nice resources for teachers and students. And I would like to tell you that some of the teachers during this pandemic situation, during summertime, tried some video courses from MM Publications ELT group, and they were very happy about them. Because not only they have a lot of good video materials, but also a lot of supplementary materials, like worksheets, teacher notes. You can know for sure what to do in the classroom with your students. And of course, all the videos are graded. And more than that, they have some graded readers on this website and games. Yes, Petros.
Yes, this is our philosophy. We're trying to see what are the needs in the classroom, you know. And this is actually a good opportunity for me to refer to our new campaign. It's called By Your Side. And we have gathered all of our tools that we used to have and that we have created during the pandemic in order to help both the students and the teachers, because the students are in a new situation, like the teachers, like parents, like everyone enabled in the education procedure. And we have collected all these materials. For example, the student used to have access to the student CD-ROM that used to be included in the workbook. Now, for most series, can be found online. There, the student can find videos, stories, reference pages, online games, and practice more. For every textbook, there is another platform. It's called ELT platform. It is free for every textbook, where the student can solve more exercises. From the teacher's perspective, they have access to their audio materials nowadays, and not only in a CD-ROM. They have access to the TRP, teacher resource CD-ROM, online, because now the new computers do not have even the DVD drives, and it is easier just to download something and have it permanently in your computer. And in order to help through this situation, we have the flipbooks. And next year, I believe we could have even something more advanced.